evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Christopher Paradiscal, in this evening edition of Imagination Times. Spirit, the power of truth equals freedom plus love. Specifically, grand acceleration of the transition, which was already reiterated with the types of specifics of what is superluminescence, of course, and what is the speed of love. The speed of love is actually known before the speed of luminescence. The speed of light, the speed of love is the speed of light squared, and superluminescence is anything faster than the speed of light. So, breaking that down, I previously, to have a foundation for what is a grand platform for growth. For example, this is a brand new type of tree, but it's not necessarily a brand new type of tree. It's a very beautiful, solid idea of truth of how growth works. So not only are branches and roots able to extend from the core, but branches and roots are able to extend from the core in both directions. And of course they can, like a tree, they flower and they bloom and they enlighten in all areas. So what's very spectacular is one of the things that's key is a foundation with with human beings. And of course, I've mentioned how it's definitely possible to return our actual body types to the bioluminescence that it's supposed to be. Proteum with nanoparticles of silver and gold increases the bioelectricity in our bodies, and that's exactly how we're supposed to be. And of course we can literally glow like we're supposed to. Seeing that glow, which can of course be seen with sky eyes, which is just a term for one of the spiritual or super spiritual abilities, not only to see the light in every human being and see that oneness and unity, to see auras and to see that super mind state, and also to see and recognize not only all the patterns that are within every human being. What I mean by that is all the important journeys that have led us, for example, to today, or where they will connect us and ultimately connect us back home to the things that we do in our everyday life, to the connections that we hold, to the acceleration of our journeys, to the things that made us strong, the things that made us tough, the challenges that made us resilient, the pride that we hold each and every moment, and then the tradition to uphold throughout that legacy of legendary transitional change with many positive mindsets and intents, with grand fruitional ideas. One of the solid foundations is, of course, bioluminescence and superluminescence. So bioluminescence, radiation, basically radiation of the heart, radiation of the mind, and of course the spirit soul, I said spol, or solit, sorit, like spol, S-P-O-U-L. Magical fruition of absolute beautiful abundance. There's a lot of abundance, there's a lot of love, and there's this is what we're going to do. Large masses of numbers, of course, breaking the silence. Coming to the key things about the journey is, of course, not just the destination, so keep that in mind when I speak this sentence, is to come to me and to recognize that limited potential in your heart. Guide yourself and guide others towards that light, to where you want to find yourself in that limitlessness expansion. And now that is creative and multi-creationalistical force, with the intent of not only this revolution and this incredible, very fast-paced mission, in this incredibly important blitz, which literally is at the speed of love, super Heavenessence, to pick up that speed to be at that physical spiritual level combined at once, times spirit to the power of truth, which equals freedom plus love. So freedom plus love, it's the sum of a palpable, unlimited force which is transitionable and transcendable. So that means bioluminescence, every human being, top of the head to the tip of the toe, is able to glow. That glow is I'll help describe this so sky eyes can be illuminated even better than they already are. And see what I just did there, just made some magic. But that's Ravenclaw liqueurism. It's a type of wit, understanding, and clarity of intelligence that combines ultimately truth with the actual unlimited power that already is present in omnipresence and in everything. Pink. Very, very wide field of pink. Incredibly bright. Now, that's because there's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple petals around, when sitting, petals around the legs and hips, thigh section. Very bright. And very even brighter towards the head, white. It kind of like a green, blue, white. It gets brighter, and that shines, and energies intermix and intermingle when stationary, and then when there's movement, it's like an egg, like a massive, colorful swirl of colors in an egg, and there's levitation, and of course there's other bioluminescent beings always present. For example, jumping into this realm, jumping out of this realm all the time. Plasma beings, if you will. Now, superluminescence, combining our magical abilities, simply put, telekinesis with superluminescent objects, for example, or just advanced technology, to keep it very simple. Advanced technology. Movement of the mind to an object allows it to move. So, transportation of even not only living, but inanimate. Movement of okay, we'll be realistic here. Movement of 500,000 people in a transportation device just by mind. So, for example, one mind is able to move 100,000 realistically at the speed of light to another location. Of course, when you're traveling consciousness, it travels at super Heavenessence, which is the speed of light squared. Of course, what that is, to break it down, is that its thought forms, its creation going to source. It's being manifested in a super planet, for example, and then it's being created, and that manifested portion is in existence in physical, while still that super spiritual planet plane still exists, because that, for example, in dream state or actual astral projection, which everybody is, honestly, I'm just going to try and be honest here, is, I would say, is mastered by every single being. You can go to those planets, to those realms, to learn, pick up new things, new traits, new skills, new abilities, train. And then, of course, those skills can still be implemented in, for example, quote, real time, unquote, on Earth, in this plane. And, of course, that's one continuous, grand, excellent revolution, which is accelerating. The superluminescence of the types of vehicles, just for transportation, for land, for example, or hover, train, super, for example, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, it can be geometric. Once again, just putting out ideas, trying not to micromanage, but square train, diamond train, octagonal train, probably even the more sides, the more surface area, the faster a type of superluminescence, electromagnetic gravitation could be used, or even a plasma field, which is, of course, allowing you to enter into, for example, which definitely exists, which is the imagination realm, which is already in the equation, which I gave. I'll give it again. The imagination times spirit to the power of truth equals freedom plus love. And that imagination and truth times imagination plus freedom equals magic. And you can make that. You can actually use magic to do just simple tasks such as that level of movement. For air, not gonna micromanage, but similar thing. But then again, it's multifaceted, because you can have physical, meaning, or biological transportation. So, wings, excess skin, air, buoyancy, inanimate, so physical, metal, green, like plant-like material, or even elements, rocks, or combination of elements, which of course is the preference to create multiple elements into one alloy. A super strong, for example, lightweight alloy that's nearly indestructible, or pretty much indestructible. Immune to fire, water, earthquakes, fire, lightning, the whole 39 and a half yards. Then, of course, the actual spiritual, so just the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 700 to 200,000th to 500,000th to 10 billion to 10 billion trillion to 10 trillion billion trillion levels, spiritual levels, to just leap through, live in, and exist through. And that's for air. Ocean, of course, very similar thing, very similar realms. That type of, for example, psychic abilities, breaking it down very, very simply. Once again, telekinesis, teleportation, hydrokinesis, pyrokinesis, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, omniscience, omnipresence, intellect, sixth sense, additional senses, extrasensory, supersensory, ultrasensory, etc. Those are just some of the very, very basics of spiritual, of course, the realms you can jump through, the way from 10 trillion to 100 trillion billion, 100 billion trillion, excuse me. And then physical, which are the same, for example, plants, metals, alloys, rocks, products of earth, and then combinations of those, and also the ether itself, or the water itself. And then a whole nother entire ecosystem of evolution, of civilization, which can be created within is the, of course, volcano, is of course lava or magma. And that would be a brilliant realm. And of course that is what it means to be in such a high vibration, that the physical body, well, you're in an etheric body, a spiritual body, so that's a type of legendary transition that is pretty much common nowadays, especially in Ravenclaw and the basic attributes, and basic, probably even some of the basic studies of what is Gryffindorianism, the forms of the types of transfigurations, at least, and some of the standards. That's actually incredibly true. Some of the most incredible basic standards and flows. That's with Slytherinianism. This is actually very common and very potent, actually. So Slytherinianism, that plasmic form of magic in the making, or M&M, and of course, SC is one of the key characteristics of Hufflepuffinarians, or Hufflepuffinistic Arianism, and Ocean Fire is also a characteristic of Hufflepuff, Oceanic Arianism, and Slytherinianism. So this is another evening edition of this beautiful co-creative force on this 23rd of July 2017. This is your host, Christopher Michael Curtis Bowen. I love you all.